Yes, so who the funk it? Daniel Dubois with the unexpected call out of old Filip Hrgovic. A juicy little matchup that made us go, aye, okay, don't mind if I fucking do sign us up, baby. And now, along with the colossal 5 versus 5, that call out has become the fight. So let's unveil the nipples of this matchup, take a deep dive into the crack of the very interesting Hrgovic versus Dubois, and talk about the dark history that may play a big factor. Strap in. Yes, so I don't know about you, but I am the new biggest fan of Daniel Dubois 2.0. He's just an absolute belter these days. After producing some cracking lines in the presser and getting rid of old Ped fucking Flintstone back in December, he now wants all the smoke with the very experienced Filip Hrgovic.
Hrgovic, I'm the daddy. I heard you've been calling out everyone else's name. I can't hear mine. Are you ready?
Yes, absolutely superb. I reckon he's been watching Ray Winston in Scum on repeat.
I'm the daddy now. Next time I'll fucking kill you.
Yes, but either way, I absolutely love it. I mean, let's be honest, it probably took a few takes, that one, didn't it? Right, Philip, listen up. I want to be a daddy. Oh, no, that's not it, is it? Hold on. Right, here we go. Oi, daddy, I want to be a Hrgovic. Oh, no, sorry, I fluffed it again. Right, hold on. Right, Usyk, listen up. I'm the daddy. Oh, sorry, I've already fought him, haven't I? Anyway, yes, how can you not love him? And this was a genius call out to get himself back into a cracking position, because with Hrgovic being mandatory for the IBF belt, which is likely to be stripped from the Fury Usyk winner, Dubois may just get his chance at world title glory once more. But regardless, it's not an easy feat. Now let's have a look why. So let's put a pin in Danny Boy and talk about Phil. Yes, the Croatian beast at one point was considered the boogeyman, going by the alias El Animal, and within his rise, you could see exactly why. A standout amateur, famously hammering Wilder in sparring at just 19 years old, and with 12 stoppages in his first 14 fights, he was looking dangerous, looking like a handful and coming to cause havoc on the top boys. But the Zilly Zhang fight made us all halt the brakes a little bit. Hitting the canvas for the first time in his career in only round 1, looking pretty drab from then on, seeming uninterested, and in the end scraping through with a win that many disagreed on. Now ultimately he did outland Zhang on the CompuBox stats that night, and also this was his first real step up against what we now know to be a very tasty operator. But it was the manner in which he handled the fight that left us with more questions than answers. However, there's more to this fight than we may have realised. So originally this fight was on the undercard of Canelo versus Bivol, but was pulled close to fight night because Filip's father passed away. The pair had a best friend relationship, and it hit Hrgovic so hard that he couldn't even face training, so the fight was then rescheduled to the Joshua Usyk undercard. But in what he called the worst time of his life, and during which he changed trainer to Ronnie Shields, training camp was simply a massive struggle and a burden. So in many ways, although it was a rough performance, to still beat Zhang with this cloud hanging over him is quite a big feat and a testament to the man's ability. Now he didn't look a million times better for his next fight against Dempsey McKean, but nevertheless he had a lot of hugging to deal with, and in the end he did outwork the Australian to get the knockout inside the distance. But then it was the day of reckoning, baby, the sensational card produced by the Triple Excellent Turkey, where the only bad fight on the card was actually Filip himself against Mark fucking Demori. Yeah, no, I still don't know why either. It's a mystery, innit? Frank went, right, Josh, you're fighting Wallin, Wilder, you're fighting Parker, Dubois, you fight the Chemical Kid over there, and Hrgovic, who do you want to fight? I'll fight Mark Demori. Huh? Mark Demori. Mark who? Demori. Who the fuck's that? Anyway, yes, that fight was a bit of a puzzler, but maybe he just wanted a no-risk tick-over fight, expecting to have a world title fight after the original Fury Usyk date on February the 17th. Either way, with the reschedule of the Undisputed and the unveiling of the 5 versus 5, he's now been cornered by Frank and young Dubois in what should be a very intriguing matchup. So back to Daniel then. Well, as much as Shane McGuigan is a blinding trainer, he switched to Don Charles, who seems to be an all-round father figure mentor, with the partnership so far blossoming. The Usyk fight was always a big ask and no shame to lose, but the manner in which he handled the big baby fight was absolutely terrific. Having been questioned for his heart and labelled a quitter after the Joyce and Usyk losses, he showed big massive balls from the opening bell to the knockout. However, let's rein it in a bit, because Hrgovic is no big baby Miller, and this will be a very different affair. So what goes down then, eh bruv? Well, I ain't got a fucking Scooby, to be honest, but before I give you my little pony take on it, I just want 15 seconds of your time to let you know about Sparko, who old Proper Box is working alongside now. Yes, get yourself some blinding boxing clobber, some blinding accessories, and even some cheeky little gifts for your loved ones and your mates. Lovely stuff, look at that. Give them a cup of tea and tell them to fuck off. Superb. So if you want to kick yourself out in the very best of boxing clothing and more for a cracking price, get yourself over to the Sparko store and have a cheeky little look. Link in the description, you'll love it. Now where was I? Yes, so what goes down then for Hrgy and Dubois? Well, something that should be considered is the old sparring stories, and this is where that dark history arises from. So as I mentioned in my last video, back in 2018, before Dubois was set to fight DL Jones, Hrgovic apparently bashed Danny Boy up pretty badly in one of their spars. There's speculation that Dubois was seriously injured from this because he went on to postpone the DL Jones fight just a few days later, and having mentioned it at the 5 vs 5 presser, he clearly wants to right this wrong.
I'm just ready to prove, you know. We had a spar a while back and he keeps talking about that, so I'm gonna just show him that people change, and you know, I'm a different animal now.
So yes, he definitely is a more accomplished fighter now, but unfortunately for him, there's no denying it's bound to be a big confidence booster for Hrgy and a bad omen to have for Dubois on the night. In my opinion, not a very good start for Danny Boy. Now then, let's talk about the meaty stuff, shall we? So activity-wise, Dubois has had a respectable 6 fights in just over 2 years compared to Hrgovic's 3 fights in 2 years. To be fair, we can't even count that Mark Damori load of total bollocks, so basically he's only had a mere 2 fights in 2 years. And as we've seen with the revival of Joshua and Parker of late, activity plays such a big part in momentum. Not the best situation for Hrgy to be in. Now with 19 knockouts in 20 wins and just based on the eye test, Dubois is clearly the heavier puncher of the two. Maybe not the heaviest puncher Filip has faced because of Zhang, but still Daniel of course has the power to put anyone to sleep. But Hrgy's chin over the years has shown to be more than capable, only being put down once in his career by Big Bang, which was a really soft knockdown anyway, and as we know, being able to withstand the power of Zhang for 12 rounds is a pretty big achievement in itself. Danny Boy may have to land a few pearlers to keep the Croatian down, but on the flip side, in Dubois' case, he's been down a concerning 6 times in his career so far. The 3 Kevin Lorena knockdowns and the fight in general was a little bit fucking strange, but the Usyk and Joyce knockdowns came from a flurry of accurate shots and pressure that Dubois simply couldn't deal with, leading him to take a knee 3 times in these bouts. And when Hrgovic is on point, this is something that he's very good at. A seriously accurate puncher with good variations, and he's no mug in the power department as well. You gotta say, being able to beat Zhang and McKean in performances where he looked uninterested and under par shows he clearly is still a force to be reckoned with. So what can he do when he's really on the ball? And not forgetting they were both southpaws as well, which is always a difficulty for orthodox fighters. Now he's up against the orthodox Dubois, he'll be surely finding it much more comfortable and familiar. So for me, it all kind of comes down to where old Filip's head is at on the night. But being so close to that world title opportunity that he's been chasing since day one, I'm expecting him to be fully on point this time. And if he is switched on, I feel Dubois may have a long night ahead of him. Don't get me wrong, I can see Danny Boy having some success due to his power alone, and he may even have a lot more output in the early stages of the fight because Hrgy can start quite slow. But whether he'll have enough to keep Hrgy down, I just don't know, because this man is ruddy tough. More so in my mind, I see Dubois hitting the canvas at least once on the night because of Hrgy's accuracy and ability to throw punches that opponents don't see coming. He tends to come on strong later in the fight like he did against Zhang and McKean, and I just feel he's very likely to land a few bang on the button at this point. Now Danny Boy is showing a tougher side to himself these days, but you gotta say it's still very debatable if he'll be able to push through the hard times with a solid fighter like Filip. Yes, the Miller fight was a massive success, but let's be brutally honest, he didn't have a great amount to deal with outside of being constantly walked down by this great big fucking lorry who didn't have any performance enhancers in him for once. So I would of course be rooting for him, but I just struggle to see him not being in a dark place at some point in this fight. Probably late on when both men are getting tired, after Dubois has unloaded the kitchen sink and Hrgovic is still in front of him. Yes, and finally, I can't let go of the old sparring rumours. It sounds like it was such a bad beating that Hrgy will be super confident from. The public opinion and the aura of the Croatian has gone quite a bit downhill since the Zhang fight, but I wouldn't get it too twisted. He's still double dangerous and he's still on a mission to collect a world title. Danny Boy is standing in his way, so don't be surprised to see him a lot more up for this one. We shall see. But please do remember, people, I know absolutely fuck all. So more importantly, I'd love to know your thoughts on the fight, because you're all double mint. Or be the same for now. Don't forget about the old Sparko store, link in the fucking description, and I'll see you double soon. Toodaloo.